Dear students, I welcome you in this lecture of 9th standard online session. Now, today we are going to start the second chapter of our SS syllabus from the textbook. Now, this lesson explains you some of the detailed theories about the colonism and also related other facts. Now, if I talk about the war, why there is always a war? Because somehow the factors of the countries and the relativity of the people are somehow changing. The people, the country somehow remains only with the value of profit, where they hurt each other, they try to prove their supremacy on each other, and also they try to become very rude to each other. So that is also one condition of the war. Furthermore, it also develops over the revolution. That is it written here. Revolution means something new. A change of a new factor is coming there, which is revolution. So let's get further here. European people, as you know that, came in India, there was a mini war. This topic is not about the European people, but the topic is related to that. Eurasia, Africa, Asia, German, and many other countries which jumped into the war. And now here, the year of the war were somehow so much destructive that some of the countries faced very heavy economical crisis as well. The soldiers were also enlugged by forcefully or by their self inside the war, that it was the atmosphere of the war, atmospheric pressure. It was whole like atmosphere of the war. So this lesson is all about the First World War and the Russian Revolution. So what is Russian Revolution? When Russia started revolution internally with the two groups, Bolshevik and Menshevik. So that we'll discuss later in this chapter, and now I'm going to teach you the basic information about the Western European colonialism in Africa and also colonialism in the Africa. So let's start that. The yearing of the Western European countries, if I talk about, featuring expansion of the empire. The Western European countries came here or came in the other countries to expand their empire, acquire new territories, acquire new zone, profit, and many more things there, colonies, and they resulted the country to go in the Asia and Africa. So they went to the Asia as well the Africa to conquer that. Now in the race of conquering, they established their own colonies, expanded their rules, regulations and all. In the previous chapter, I have made you to understand French colonies, British colonies and also the colonies related with the people who are the Europeans or the Portuguese. So the European nation, consequently there arose a competition between the European nations, established the colonies, and this greed led them to focus the systematic system of the war, where among the Western European nations caused the economical causes also and social cultural ruins of the Asian African people, their culture, their manner, everything got in the destructive ways. So war is not for the peace, and peace is not related with the war. So the result of this world politics was such in the condition that the First World War began with the Bolshevik Revolution, with the Menshevik Revolution. Now what is Bolshevik Revolution? First of all, we'll study about that. So students, let's study and know about what is the Bolshevik Revolution. If I talk about the Western European countries colonism in the Asia and Africa, the Western European somehow countries wanted to expand their empire in the Asia. Their greed for the colonialism, but it did not succeed. Now when it is not succeeding, in that case they spare even the boundaries with each other. They did not succeed in this conquering the nation and their territories. So in that meanwhile, they started to play some of the games. That is a mind game. So Spain had taken control. They started the small war with the small countries. If I talk about Spain, the Spain has taken control after watching Portuguese success, though it was not 100%. After the European success, though it was not 100%, but some part of that. So Spain got inspired by that. So here Spain had taken control over the Netherlands, Belgium and also Luxembourg. Now if Spain is controlling this thing, other nation will also focus the same systematic development, and furthermore later on some other provinces were also captured by the France. So why should France leave back? France पीछे क्यों रहेगा फिर? France also jumped inside the war. When the Portuguese king died without any heir, बिना किसी संतान के Portuguese king die हुआ. You know there was a rule, if a king is dying without any son or a daughter, his kingdom will be given to the British conspiracy or the ruling power. Then the Portuguese kings, when he died, after that the Spanish king came there. Okay, he came and took the real whole advantage of that factor, because as he said that he is a far relative in the blood relation with the Portuguese. So therefore, due to blood relationship, the Spain king took control over this kinds of area also. देखिए my dear students, one thing you need to understand, in the war there was a heavy dirty politics. A very dangerous game was played out. So if we move further, India, what about India? India was not in any war. India was in a neutral national treaty. So now here the greed for the colonialism went more and more, as I said you, and now European countries was with the Spain right now. Means Spain was controlling somehow the European countries too here and establishing their colonies. That is, non-European countries were also with the Spain. Some part of European were with the Spain here. So if you go more further, it was the first startup and emergence of the war also. Similarly, if I talk about the colonialism also happened by the other countries. Italy, if we talk about the Italy and German states became somehow the victims of the greed. Victims means they were somehow targeted, that now the war should be with the Italian Germany, let's target them. Now who targeted them? This is the factor here. Actually they both were ready for the war, but now they were targeted. So after that, France and Austria, they targeted Italian Germany. So now France is attacking over Germany. Austria, it's not Australia, it is Austria. Austria is fighting with Italy, like that. So they both were targeted very badly. So when they both were targeted very badly, we can say that they faced many challenges at that time. So tightening their grip over Asian, African nation, France and Russia, and we can say that like France and Austria, they moved on, they went away, and many European nations which had become free, now somehow following the footsteps of England, they also made the same thing. They also came with the Asian African treaty of the colonialism. Means the other countries inspired by England, they also thought that we will also try to conquer the Asian African people land. We will also take their land, we will rule our supremacy, and we will try to recover all the profit from that state of nation. So this is the example where I am trying to make you understand how and why it was delivered or it was done out. So my dear students, moving further, what is happening? See, when these kinds of situations happened here, then there comes the colonialism in Asia. Now what is the colonialism in Asia? You need to understand that, because Asia and its colonialism, freedom fighting things, it's a very huge topic. So after, if we talk about, after the strengthening the grip over India, England was already strengthening the grip of India. You know that we were under British control. England expanded its empire to Sri Lanka. मैंने शायद एक या दो लेक्चर में बताया होगा आपको that India was not only the country to support the war internally for the Indian people only. India was not supporting the war in the World Nation Peace Group. India was supporting war only in the Indiana zones. We were fighting only with the Britishers. We were not fighting with the world. तो बाद में Sri Lanka was also there. They captured Sri Lanka, Myanmar, जिसको Burma बोलते हैं, Singapore, Malaya, that is Malaysia, England, and some part of China also. But due to the opium trade between the China, there was a war in 1839. Opium trade means there was a very strong opposition related with the trade in the China. Again there was a war with the China, which came with an opium war history also, जिसको हम opium war history भी बोलते हैं. So आगे हम चलते हैं तो चाइना की बात करें. China, what about China? China lost the war. So China lost the war and thereby lost 5 ports also. 5 ports to England. 5 ऐसे port, 5 port from where China could do the international trade by the seawage, means by the water routes. So 5 ports were given to the England. And apart from that, carry with the trade expanded more in the advanced level, and their empire too, taking advantage of China's weakness. You know, when somebody is weak, everybody will take the advantage of that. So taking advantage of the China's weakness, Japan also came there. Japan, not only Russia also came there, not only Russia, Germany also came there, France, Belgium, America, and also they acquired the trade and political rights, rules, regulation over the China. So this is the example where we can say that when China was weak, again there was a dirty politics played out inside the group of category. So my dear students, here enormous resources were taken from China. Enormous means everything was taken from China, and also efforts were made that every part of the Chinese civilization will be also taken from there, and every mineral resource should be also taken there. And if I talk about the desert region of West Asia, attracted European also once again, and they established supremacy group nearby that. So England, Germany, Russia, America established the colonies in that, or we can say that oil fields in that. When the companies of Iran, Iraq and Kuwait, then also Saudi Arabia, means whole UAE, United Arab Emirates, were also ruled under these countries' control for some time. And laterly we can say that Arabia and Bahrain also made effort to take care of their own interest, but somehow they failed out. So my dear students, this is the basic lecture about the First World War and also about the revolution with the Russia. I'll also tell you in the next lecture what is Bolshevik revolution and what is Menshevik revolution, and also tell you about what is Bloody Sunday, Lohiyar Ravivar. What was that? I will also tell you about that. And very best thing is that in this lesson, that after the war, Germany will be facing many kind of problem in the second phase of the lesson. In the first phase, Germany is fighting very fiercely, but after that, Germany will also face problem. So we'll see all this thing in the upcoming lectures. So till then, you can keep revising and also keep detailing over this lesson. Factorize your theories on this lesson, search on the Google also, and if you get any extra advantage knowledge, note down in the notebook. So student, keep revising this chapter. We'll meet in the part number 3, where I will make you understand every detail about the lecture in the forward grade. Till then, you can take care.